Yobachi 2007 back at you with another one. So I did this whole 11.5 minute video where I failed to record any of my audio coming through the mic. The in stereo audio from the computer recorded for this clip we're going to have later. But the actual audio that I recorded from the mic, none of that came in. And I'm talking about primarily Disney's movie Crater, but also some of their other properties and what's happening with them getting pulled from the streaming services and bombing at the box office both at the same time. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to let the video that I originally recorded play in the background as far as the visual, and I'll just talk over it. I guess this might be better because I was winging it last time. Didn't really totally know what I was going to talk about. Kind of. I had some articles pulled up that I wanted to get into. But let's get with it. There's a movie called Crater that came out on Disney Plus, and within less than a month, they're already dumping it. Okay, I think maybe it's about 2 months. It's a movie called Crater, about what you would expect it would be about. Some kids are going to a planet that has craters on it, basically, just to make it simple and straightforward. So here's some of the text that we were looking at before. Now, in the wake of the reports of cancellations, the showrunner has taken the trigger to point out the truth is a lot more complicated. Oh, this was in regards to when Willow got canceled. So this was this part was about. Previously, Willow got pulled from Disney streaming service. So Lucasfilm has taken a lot of tax write downs, and the showrunner for Willow was trying to cap and claim that they were releasing people from the show. They were releasing the actors to go take other jobs and not have to leave the space on their schedule to for their obligation to record Willow because they just wanted to be altruistic to the actors and help them out. And while they figured out what they were doing next with Willow, but they let them go and do other jobs, but they were definitely doing a Willow season 2. Then a few weeks after he made those claims, Willow got pulled from the streaming service. You can't watch it again anywhere. And they're doing that to take a tax write down for the purposes of saving money. Yeah, you can take a tax write down on a property if you take a loss on it, but you can't then continue to use that property in production. You can't continue to license it and generate revenue from it. If you're going to take the tax write down on the losses, you got to get rid of it. So that's what happened with Willow a few months back. It had been out for maybe about 4 months, and it got yanked. This new movie that went to direct Disney streaming service didn't even go to the box office. They're just pulling it in a few weeks. They're like, we're done. Get rid of it. We need some cash flow. We got to buy Hulu. We need operating cash. We're not doing well at all. So this was more of that guy's capping the showrunner, talking about what they were doing with the first season. It was all lies. So they're not the only ones that are doing that. Warner Brothers and John Sasloff at Warner Brothers started it off with Batgirl when they canceled that show and just sent it to the dumpster before that movie was going to be released. And that was the first one Michael Keaton was going to be in. But they just said, this is a dumpster fire. This is garbage. We know it's going to tank. This is terrible. We'll just do the tax write down and get as much money back as we can get that way. It's not that you write the whole. People don't understand what write-offs are. They think if you write something off, you're getting all the money you spent. No, it just subtracts from the amount of money from your revenue that you have to pay taxes on. So you don't have to pay taxes on that amount of the loss. You can subtract that and apply your tax percentage to a lesser amount of money. So then you pay less taxes. So here it goes. It talks about The Rise of the Pink Ladies is a series by Paramount has been canceled and will be removed from the platform. So that's another show that Warner Brothers is just getting rid of. It's been on the air. They had one more episode to release. They're releasing that last episode, and it's being gotten rid of this month. And here's an article called Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies creator calls out Paramount Plus for cancellation, a particularly brutal move. Because these snowflakes are special snowflakes, of course. And so here they go. They were trying to push a lesbian love circle back in the 1950s amongst teenage girls. And of course, they have to over sexualize teenagers, just like they're doing with HBO Max's Velma. They take teenagers there and super over sexualize them, even have them nude in the cartoon on Disney Plus. This is a spinoff or a ripoff of Scooby Doo, and they've got naked teenagers and over sexualized teenagers as a premise of the show. So the creator of Paramount's Grease, they're devastated. They're devastated that their show is getting dropped. It's getting dropped because nobody's watching it. Nobody's watching it. It goes more if we're talking about it's a particular brutal move. It is also being removed from Paramount Plus. They can't continue to profit on it. And unless it finds a new home, you will no longer be able to watch it anywhere. The cast, my creative partners, and I are all devastated at the complete erasure of our show. So first, they felt seen by their diverse cast of 1950s over sexualized teenage lesbians. Now they feel erased. Cry tears. Cry tears, everybody. So that's Rise of the Pink Ladies for you. So also the next thing that we have happening, so Disney is removing this new movie Creators, which was also made to be aimed primarily at teenagers. Its ratings were garbage, but surprisingly, I think they were a little bit better than Peter Pan and Wendy. But I think because of Peter Pan and Wendy being the legacy franchise that it is, they aren't dumping that one. They're keeping it um, because I think it has legacy utility, but this is one of the ones they're getting up because they're trying to save. Here it goes, 1.5 to 1.8 billion dollars by doing these write downs of various shows, including Willow. Here goes some other ones: The Last Man, The World According to Jeff Goldblum, and some other stuff. So the various studios are trying to get back money from these products, these writers who are on these writers' strikes, demanding everything under the sun, which I think they deserve to get paid as far as the streaming rights. The industry definitely jobbed them on that. They need to make decent livings to be able to support a career, especially if they only get to work for short amount of times from one program to the next. But there are demands that you as to what technology you can use or how many people an organization has to hire for a job are of course absurd. An organization should be able to run their business as it benefits them, not have demands that you have to hire a certain number of people if they don't need them, because nobody owes you an industry or owes you a job. So that's what's going on there. If you're still with me on this video, take a moment to like and subscribe to the video. Like me up, help me move through the algorithm. I'd really appreciate that. Hit the subscribe bell, come back for more next time, and we're right back to the program. So I've kind of marked the time, and next I have coming up a video about the movie Crater. This guy's going to tell you about it coming up here in a few seconds. I guess I'm a little, should have kept this going. I messed that up a little bit. But we can hear more about Crater, and then we need to talk about the new movie.
Well, like I said earlier, I saw the trailer for this movie, and it looked like The Goonies. It looked like The Lost Boys. And this is from the producers of Stranger Things. So these guys have clearly made a popular TV show about kids, so I decided, why not? But my honest thoughts about this movie are, it's just so okay that it's not even worth talking about. Like, for example, if someone...
So it's just basic. This is from Brando Critic. You take a look there. Basically, the movie's basic. It's another mid-movie from Disney. More blah. Disney is tanking all over the place. They tanked with Ant-Man and the Wasp to start the year. They tanked with Elementals, which is bombing at the box office right now. What else do they have that bombed this year? The one movie that did well was Guardians of the Galaxy, which I went to see and I enjoyed. But it's just barely going to break even because they spend such ridiculous amount of money on these movies. Even with this 800 million plus box office, they had to spend almost 300 million making the movie, almost another 100 million promoting it, and so they needed like 750 just to break even because the theaters keep about half of the receipts. It's a little less than half overseas. I mean, it's a little more than half overseas. It's a little less than half that the theaters get in the U.S., but it averages out to about 50%. So you got to take the total revenue, cut it in half, and that's what the studio gets back. So if they spent 350, $400 million on a film, they need 700, 800 million back in revenue, box office revenue, in order just to break even. And right now you have Indiana Jones flopping to hell. Indiana Jones is bombing, and you can't just say that's lies from toxic men. Even mainstream websites like Screen Rant are finally telling the truth and getting in on it. Indiana Jones cost over 300 million to make in production and reshoots, 100 million plus in marketing and distro. It's probably somewhere around 420 million all in. Some people believe it's more like 450, 460, but at least a good 420 for sure, which means they need close to about 900 million, 850 at the bare minimum, but probably about 900 million just to break even. This movie won't even probably barely make its production budget back. That's how terrible it's doing. That's how bad Fleabag Jones and the Dial of Destitute box office are doing because nobody wants another sassy chick tearing down a legacy hero in our cinematic universes and destroying another property. But that's all Lucasfilm does.
Medical house calls are back, and they're better than ever. Welcome to Dispatch Health.
So the Lucasfilm destroyed Star Wars, certainly destroyed all the legacy characters, destroyed the lore. They destroyed Willow so bad that it cratered and had to get removed from Disney. It's gone. They got rid of it. Kathleen Kennedy destroyed that so bad, and now she's destroyed Indiana Jones. Her failure is complete. Well, I mean, that's all we really wanted to talk about here right now. It's an abomination what Disney is doing. The film Little Mermaid, that's another bomb. You go, oh, it made $500 million. Yeah, it needed like 750 million just to break even. It didn't get anywhere close to where it needed to be. It's not good enough. It's not good. Everything is relative. You want to spend all this money to make everything a tentpole movie, and then you don't get tentpole box office returns. Those are flops. Disney is flopping all over the place. They can't even make a movie to put on Disney Plus without it having to get taken off so they can recoup some tax revenue to try to get some cash flow going. Disney's in trouble. Everything they're making turns to dust. Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy are just not doing anything well. All right, I'm out of here on this one. Once again, though, before we go, don't forget to hit me with the likes and the subscribes and all that. It's your Bachi 2007. Like us up, and I'm out of here on this one. Peace.